most important distinction that we can make is between what we know and what we don't know. Because our minds are fueled by the questions we ask, and we don't ask the question when we believe we already have the answer. This moment right now is the only time that exists. You'll never look at a clock and realize that it is 10 minutes ago, or look at a calendar and realize that today is actually tomorrow. The time of day is a measuring stick we use to track the cycle of the sun passing through the sky. Seconds were created by counting the number of times a metronome clicked from sunrise to sunrise. And that number was divided into sets of 60 for a minute, 60 minutes for an hour, and there are 24 hours in that cycle. So the time of day is literally a representation of the number of times that metronome clicked since the moment that we stopped counting yesterday. As far as we can tell, the 7-day week came from the story found in Genesis, where God made all of creation in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. It's unclear if the next day was Monday and God went back to work for 6 more days, then rested again, repeating that cycle for eternity, but that seems to be the message we took from the story. Months are based on lunar cycles, and your astrological sign correlates to the constellation covered by the sun during that month. The Earth rotates 365.25 times on its journey around the sun, so we have 365 days in a year, and there is an extra calendar day on leap years to account for that quarter day. Months are named after planets and ancient gods, and some are based on the original number of that month. October, oct is 8, like octopus, and December, the DEC, as in decimal or decade, stands for 10. There would actually be 13 months and 13 astrological houses if months followed the lunar cycle. 13 months at 28 days each equals 364 days, with 1¼ days extra each year. In this calendar, if the 5th was a Tuesday, the 5th of every month would be a Tuesday, and the different phases of the moon would line up with the same day of each month. There have been multiple calendars throughout recorded history, each with their own markers and systems to track these natural patterns of movement that our planet makes in relation to the moon, the sun, and the stars. We can only experience the past and future in our minds, because beyond that internal realm, it is always right now. Our capacity to project possibility into the future is a fundamental and defining aspect that separates humans from every other species on the planet. And everything we have ever created exists first in our minds. Did the Wright brothers see the future when they imagined the contraption that they would ultimately fly at Kitty Hawk? Or were they creating the blueprint for that reality? Did time create the Grand Canyon, or was it water running over rock? Is time a measuring stick, or is it a force that constitutes a fourth dimension? The present moment is not some infinitesimal point that the future passes through on its way to becoming the past. The present moment is eternal, and it is the only place that we can think, speak, act, or create.